Good morning, Magic. I'm Gavin Verhey from Wizards of the Coast, and welcome to the Tarkir Dragonstorm pre-release. I'm going to crack this pack open and show you exactly how I would build a sealed deck from start to finish, leaving the camera on the whole way through so you can see everything. Now, the first thing you'll know, and if you watched my pre-release primer video yesterday, you would know this already. Go check that out if you haven't yet. Is you're going to pick a clan to represent. So I got the Abzan pre-release pack here. They call me Captain Abzan in design, or at least they did when we worked on the first Tarkir set, so it's a good throwback for me. So I grabbed the Abzan one, but there's a little bit of an extra boost toward playing Abzan here if you choose that one. Same for if you choose Jeskai and so on. So picking your clan is relevant. It'll give you a little bit of a bonus. You don't have to play that clan, but you can. Here's a little thing on there. We live on. I'm going to crack this open right here. Tells you a little bit about what to expect from the Abzan. Not going to read it all out, but you'll get that. Each box also looks different too, which is pretty cool. Abzan, of course, this bright yellow. You got some counters around the sides you can punch out. That's neat. But the core, of course, your pre-release experience is going to be what is inside here with the spin down D20. Boom. Nice Abzan colors there. You're going to get your 6 pre-release packs, or excuse me, your 5 pre-release packs here. You'll get a little guide about how to build your pre-release deck and what all the clans are. Here's this. Not going to read it all out. Once again, if you want these tips for building pre-release deck, go watch my video yesterday about it. You get this divider for your box, but critically, on top of these packs, you also get this, which is your special pre-release pack. Inside this is cards that will help you play Abzan if you want to, or whatever clan you choose. You'll see already I got a foil pre-release card, Revival of the Ancestors, on top. A nice Abzan enchantment. So, yeah, definitely pretty strong. Okay, I'm going to talk about building a sealed deck. The first thing that I do is I crack open all my packs at once. Now, I am going to normally crack them all open at once. I will, for the sake of example, go through this one at a time just to kind of show you what's in here so you know what to expect from pre-release packs. So as you can tell, you get a bunch of cards. You get like a Tri-Land for your colors, a bunch of gold cards. Ooh, Skirmish Rhino, nice. A bunch of gold cards for your color combination. So, not seeing any blue or red cards here, just white, black, and green cards. So, really good boost to make sure you can play those colors. So, that's an example of what you'll find. But normally what I do is I crack all my packs open right away. The reason I do that, I know you're probably eager to go check out the rares and all that. It's just helpful for your store, right? You get to get all the trash done right away so that your judge or whomever store owner, whoever's ever managing your store, can come by and pick all that up. Just gives them a little bit of a leg up. You still go through your cards one by one and carefully read all the cool rares you got. You don't have to ruin your mystique. The rares are at the back of these packs, but just makes things a little bit easier for your store owner. Look how clean that is. Boom. Okay, and the next thing I want to do is sort by color. Now, normally you do have to narrow down what colors you're going to play, and I will still be looking through to figure out what colors I want to play. I always take out the tokens and art cards and kind of set them off to the side a little bit. You're not going to need those for this. Any basic lands you were to find, I do the same thing too. Now, we will look at all the colors. It is important to still represent them, to take a look at all of them and make sure that you're not missing anything. With that said, it's pretty likely we're going to end up some combination of Abzan colors here. The trick to not overlook, though, is sometimes you also want to splash another color, especially with something like an extra Tri-Land. Being able to splash is really nice. So here's, like, for example, here's all of our blue cards. So we have a total of 8 blue cards in our pool because that extra pre-release pack did not give us anything in blue. Well, maybe there's going to be enough in there to play with. We'll find out. But you want to sort them all by color. That's really important. Now, in this set, there's kind of 10 main archetypes, and of course you can play whatever you want. There's nothing that says you have to play these archetypes, but there are the 3 color combinations of each clan, as well as the enemy colored pairs. And the enemy colored pairs, as I covered in my video yesterday, kind of work as a combination of what 2 different clans do. So, for example, white-black is a deck, and white-black uses the Endure from Abzan to make tokens, alongside Mobilize from Mardu to care about sacrificing those tokens. So, yeah, kind of something nice you can do. So we're going to be looking to play one of those. You can play, of course, 2 colors in the dragon clan combination if you want to. 2 different ones. There's nothing saying you can't. Sometimes it's right to do that. Sometimes you got to just ignore the rules of what the archetypes are and just go for it, right? Yeah, so sorting these out here. Once you look at this, black and white stacks are just so much bigger than the other colors. But if you are going to splash another color here, it's maybe going to be for a good gold card or some good removal spells, and maybe the mana will support it, right? I mean, the thing about these sealed pools, like a Tarkir sealed pool, is with all the mana fixing you have, it's so easy to just go super deep and try and play all your best cards. You can play 5 colors in this format. The mana fixing is there for something like that. So you will probably run into something like that at the pre-release or in some sealed decks of this. I know in the first time around in Tarkir, I loved playing the 5-color morph deck. That was always a blast. Okay, so we got all of our colors out there. Now I'm going to pull out all the gold cards. And of course, plenty of gold cards here because we're playing Tarkir. Alright, put these down. Look at all this mana fixing we have. All these lands. We're going to be flush on lands. Now, you could sort out your gold cards further by clan or something if you want to, but I'm going to leave them all in just one stack. It becomes so many piles. You want to do by 3-color combination and then with 2-color combinations. Wow. Yeah, just look at this mana fixing. This is a really strong start, right? So we have Sansep Citadel and Nomad Outpost. So, if we're going to play Abzan, this will help fix us, and this will give you at least 2 of those colors, so that's really nice. We have an Evolving Wilds, always good to have around. We've got Blossoming Sands, Rugged Highlands, Bloodtail Caves, Stormwall Falls, Scoured Barrens, and this Kishla Village, which is not mana fixing, but it's just a good land to have around. So much mana fixing available to us. Now let's go through our colors one by one. We'll start in order from white to green, then look at the gold cards and see what kind of stuff we have. So let's look at our white first. So I'm always looking for removal spells, evasion, and just generally strong cards, bomb rares, and so on. Great removal spell right here on top. Right, this is your Banishing Light variant. And yet another Banishing Light, so that's nice to have around. Another removal spell right here, deals 5 damage. It might gain you some life to boot. Those cards are okay. Now here's a nice rare. Great Abzan rare here that lets you endure over and over again. Flashes into combat, pretty solid. Or flashes even when your opponent's about to kill your thing, too. Also pretty solid. I've enjoyed this card a lot when we were playtesting. I love this 4/3 that draws you a card. That's a nice one for sure. Some solid cheap creatures. This is a nice 1-mana 2-1 lets you endure for a bit of extra mana. This flyer is all right. And this Voice of Victory is an awesome card. Not as strong and limited as other places, but still pretty decent. Oh no, just 1 Tempest Hawk, the saddest number of Tempest Hawks. Our white looks all right. It is deep. It'll fill out your curve really nicely. It's not absolutely ridiculous. There's, a strong rare, some removal spells. I feel good about playing white. Playing 3 colors, might be the way to go. Let's take a look at our blue and just see if there's anything blue here we're gonna end up wanting. So this is a clone that lets you also clone again from the graveyard. That's kind of cool. I like this card a lot. This is basically just a Charter Course that comes back. Pretty nice blue card. This is a pseudo removal spell. It's sort of like a Singing Bell Strike. It's okay. Not my favorite to play. This is a nice one. You look at your top 6 for instant sorcery or dragon. So pretty cool. That could just an okay. Or yeah, I mean maybe if our blue gold cards are awesome. I mean these cards are quite playable. So if our blue has some awesome cards, I could see us imagining playing blue if our gold cards are great. We'll get back to that later. Take a look at our black. Black is, let's see, nothing too wild so far here. Looking for removal spells, of course, in black. That's the thing I'm really gonna try and look for. This card's all right, coming back, getting bigger, and just casting it twice. And here we go. A nice removal spell, just 3 mana, kill something. If it's a dragon, it costs a little more, but otherwise, there's 3 mana, kill something. 2 mana, 2 power, lifelinker. Oh, now this card is excellent, right? Flying Death Touch lifelink that then renews onto something. Really solid creature there. And another removal spell. Okay, that really helps out with black. I honestly thought the last removal spell wasn't totally sold, but that removal spell really helps it. Let's take a look at our red. Kind of a clunky removal spell. I did a short card video about these clunky removal spells recently. You're gonna need more than some clunky removal spells to sell me on a off-clan color. Channel Dragonfire is an efficient removal spell, so that's nice. Still not maybe once again, maybe if a gold card, kind of like blue, if a gold card dragged me in, maybe I could convince myself to play red. I do have that Nomad Outpost to help fix the colors. But yeah, nothing to get me too excited about that. Now let's take a look at our green. Yeah, it comes in and gets a counter. All the renew stuff I love because you just get the this is essentially a 3 mana 3/3 with a bit. You can spread the counters around and then you can get out of your graveyard to put more counters on stuff. So that's pretty nice. Lay the land early with that card. That's cool. Good. Those are good for that 5-color deck I mentioned earlier. You want to draft the sideways 5-color deck. Warden of the Grove. Now this is a nice one for counters for sure. Basically just lets all of your stuff endure. So pretty nice. Plus it just looks pretty too. But yeah, whenever a non-token enters, you get to endure X. So will start as 1 on the subsequent turn, and then only grow up from there. So it's a pretty strong rare. Yeah, our green is definitely less appealing than like our white and black. I could imagine going white-black, although our mana fixing will probably be good enough we could splash some of these cards. No removal spells or anything, though. So only just kind of some middling creatures, except for this Warden of the Grove, who is phenomenal. Let's look at our gold cards and see what might draw us in. So here's, of course, this Gold Saga, which is quite powerful. You make 3/3/1s, 3/1/1s, and then you get to distribute 3 counters, and then Eldrath gets Trample and Lifelink, so just pretty good rate in general, right? It's going to be something along the lines of 4 mana for 3 2/2s with more upside on top of that, so that's nice. Great card for white-black, kind of going wide here. Marshal of the Lost. Skirmish Rhino, of course, a Siege Rhino Riff if you're playing these 3 colors. Here's this Merchant. I love that we did kind of this hybrid thing here where you can split the difference on the colors if you need to. That's really nice. Reigning Victor, so speaking of splitting the colors, right, you can play this for white, black, and 2 if you want to. And we kind of costed all these cards, so if you play it for its 3 colors, it's awesome. If you play it with 1 color off, it's still serviceable. This card is okay. I'm not like mega excited about it or whatever. Now here's a great card for black, green, or black, green, white. This extra counter putter guy, kind of a Winding Constrictor style effect. This is a card we would probably not play. It's off color. This is a card you could imagine playing, right? 4 mana to look at your top 4 cards and keep 2 of them is certainly playable. If you don't end up playing blue there. Now this is a very good removal spell, and I'm once again happy to play this off color. Right? This is 4 mana, deal 4, gain 2. For sure, happy to play that. Blue-red card, that is solid, but not enough of a reason to get me to play my 2 non-clan colors. Now this is an interesting one. Would you splash blue for this? It's a kind of a removal spell to get something back. It's good. If the mana fixing supported it, I could imagine it happening, and maybe you play an island to help you cast something on something else you need to. That's on the table. Awesome removal spell for us. Probably not going to make the cut, given that the colors don't really support it, and then once again 2 colors that are not. So to me, I think it's pretty clear. I just want to try building Obzon. It's like I said, always going to keep your options open, but that seems to be the move here. These guys go find you a basic, and this will find me a Plains or a Swamp that's relevant. If I wanted to splash red, this would help me splash red, but I don't really think I do. I think I'm going to have plenty of cards to play. So let's just, I'm going to move my blue and red cards off to the side. And really, it's good this is working out, because this will really help make your deck building process all that easier, right? Now, one thing I noticed is that my green was a little light, so it's possible I might just be able to play white-black or white-black with a splash of some kind. So what I start by doing is I'm going to lay out all the cards I know I want to play, and I'm going to lay them out in this kind of mana curve fashion. Now, I'm going to lay out all the cards I could play potentially, and I'm going to lay out in this mana curve fashion where my creatures or cards I'm going to play on that turn are up here, and my non-creatures are down here. I detailed kind of how I do this in my video, but that's my recommendation for you. So with the card like Salt Road Pack Beast, I think it would generally cost us around 4, assuming you have 2 creatures in play, so it's pretty nice card. So yeah, I do this because you want to know on each turn what you're going to be playing on that turn. So like, whatever. Osseous Exhale, you're not playing on turn 2. So you call that a 2-drop. It's going to be pretty misleading, right? All right, let's just organize these. Voice of Victory, it's still certainly strong enough to play even here. I think it's more of a constructed pointed card, or maybe even Commander, but it's still good and limited. This is good if you're going to go wide to protect your stuff. I don't know, maybe you want this Mobilize 3 card. I could imagine it, depending on what other cards we end up playing. There's some tricks and stuff. We'll come back to these, but with 3 colors, you often don't have to play a lot of that stuff. Okay, let's look through our blacks. I could imagine playing this Devotee to fix our colors. Of course, fixing your colors, very important. I can imagine playing this Nurture to gain some life. I like this Veteran, although our 4-drop spot is getting pretty clogged up here, so possible we're not going to end up playing all those. I love this Lifelink Renewer. That's a great card. This Corsi Relevant, excellent. Desperate Measures you can use to good effect in a kind of Skull Clampy way. It's not a for sure thing that we're going to play it, but I'll put it down on the table. This is, an all-right trick plus flyer. I don't love it, so I'm going to push it off to the side unless I feel like I have to. But we are a little 4-drop heavy here, a little 4-drop flooded. Let's put out the green card. So Warden of the Grove, as I mentioned, was excellent. Sage of the Fang is excellent. This card is like okay. This is a great card for us, though, the Formation Breaker. I could imagine playing the Sagu Wildling. I'm not saying I would certainly do it. I would generally try and put these at, by the way, the Omen cards, generally try and put them at their, whatever cost you think you're going to play them as more. think I'm going to play the 5 mana 3/3 more, so I'm going to cost it at 5. And knowing I have a 1-drop is not nearly as relevant as knowing I have a 5-drop in my deck there. Yeah, I mean, my green I could even imagine just, like, not doing much with. It's really only, like, the green is really not that impressive. This rare Warden of the Grove is pretty good, but my white-black cards give me plenty to work with here. So I think I might just end up splashing the green. I'm going to set it over here for a second just to play, like, some of these gold cards. I guess, okay. I guess I'll leave it on. Leave a little touch of it on here, but I think I'll probably just end up splashing it a bit. So the Saga's card I'm going to want. We want this 4-drop. The Skirmish Rhino, yes. I think I want this Reputable Merchant. The Stalwart Successor. This Bargain, 4 mana, draw 2. Possible chance I'll want that. Kintree Severance, I got to kill something I might want. And then this Defibrillating Current that's kind of like a War Leader's Helix style card. So as you can tell, this is like more than enough cards. This is a ton of cards. I think I'm not going to need to even play any of these. Let's look at what our just blue mana fixing would be like. I could play this. I've got 2 copies of Thornwood Falls. If I wanted to splash Awaken the Honored Dead, I think it's probably not worth it for this card. So I'm going to put these off to the side. But like I said, as you can tell, just tons and tons of cards for us to play with here. So now what I would normally do is I would count how many cards we have on the table. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. It's 34 cards. It's so many cards. We want to play 23, guys. We have to cut over 10 cards. And then to make things trickier, I think because I am going to be splashing green, it may be worth it for me to play this Formation Breaker, because it just is so strong if I'm enduring, right? It's essentially like a 2-mana 3/3, which is really nice. I could imagine playing the Sagu Wildling as well to help fix my colors. Although, once again, you don't want to have your color fixing on your splash quite as much. So I'll put it down as like a maybe option. The rest of these I'm pretty content setting off to the side. I mean, Sarkhan's Resolve is better than normal because of all the flying dragons, but I have so many cards I want to play with. And then the manas I'm going to use for this, for my pool, will be the Sandstep Citadel for sure, Evolving Wilds, of course, Blossoming Sands, Scoured Barrens. I will play this Kishla Village because it scries. It doesn't help me fix my mana, but it scries. And I'll play the Nomad Outpost too, just as a white-black land. And these green, blue, red, green, and black-red lands I'm not going to need. They're going to go over here. So I've got a pretty decent mana base brewing here. It'll help me fix my colors. And now it's just a matter of what to cut. So what I'm going to start by doing, and this is always a tricky thing to do. So sorry, there's some glare on this 1-drop here. I'll just put this kind of over here in let's have a 2-drop pile. So normally, how do you even begin to narrow it down? You have all these cards you could play. And with your seeded packs like this will happen a lot. What I'd start by doing is I'd lay them all out and then pick up every card you're not sure about. Because then you'll be left with only the cards you know you really want to play, and you can kind of dial it in from there. So like I'm going to pick up all the things I'm not sure about. So like this combat trick that can maybe draw me some cards, not sure about it, but I'm going to play all these removal spells. I'm pretty sure. There's maybe a sideways chance I won't play this 2-mana removal spell. I almost certainly will. I might not play both these draw spells. Might not play these 5-drops. I think I will want to play this Marshal of the Lost and Revival of the Ancestors. Not totally sold on like these Outriders or these Dragonback Lancers. I'm going to play the Pack Beasts, I think, regardless, though. Going to play Warden of the First Grove, the Revenant. Not necessarily going to play both these Kintree Nurturers. Not going to play these Pack Beasts necessarily. I think I'm going to want to play all these. Want to play all these gold cards. I think I'm going to want to play the Sage of the Fang. I'll put it over here just in case. I think I'm going to want to play Descendant of the Storms. It's such a solid 1-drop. I can imagine not playing Formation Breaker because of it's on the splash. I can imagine not playing the Abzan Devotee. I think I'm going to want to play this Bearer of Glory, and I definitely want to play Alchemist Assistant. I could imagine Voice of Victory and the Fortress Kinguard are maybe only okay. Okay, so I pulled all these back, and now let's see how many mini cards we have remaining. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So this is 18 cards. So the reason I like doing this is now it's like, yeah, you had to cut it down somehow. Let's see what's left. What are the cards you absolutely want to play? And then you have all these cards left you can choose from to fill your last 5 or so spots. And yeah, you're going to have to leave some stuff on the cutting room floor, but it just really helps you give a clear vision to what you're missing. So for example, I can tell you right now I'm missing 2-drops. So I'm really going to need some of these cards to be 2-drops, where my 3-drop is pretty jammed. So like these extra 3-drops I had that I was like considering, like say the Kin Tree Nurturers and the Dalkovian Pack Beasts, I'm just gonna say no to all of these because I have my 3-drop spot so filled up already. Like I'm definitely not gonna play, I think either of these guys, and then maybe I would consider the Sage of the Fang. That's on the table, but I'm definitely gonna need some more 2-drops. Also looking at what remains will tell me if I want to, what I want to do about this green. And I really think I'm just going to make this green a little splash. Like, I want to be able to play the Stalwart Successor and the Skirmish Rhino, and ideally the Reputable Merchant on turn 3 as well, and the Revival of the Ancestors. But I think I'm going to try and avoid other early green cards, just to make my mana a little bit better. And that way I can really help tighten up and make sure I can do things like try and play this on turn 1 and so on. So I'm going to cut these 3, at least these 2 green cards. I could play the Formation Breaker off curve potentially. So as you can see, I'm just kind of narrowing things down a little bit here. Okay, so 5 cards. Now I'm down to 5 cards that I got to add on in here. Let's look at our 2-drops first, because I know we're going to want some of those. So here are our 2-drop creatures. I really going to want at least 5 2-drops. So these are, I think, our best options. Let me just do a quick pass through to make sure I didn't... I was like going back to the cards I cut to make sure I'm not like missing anything that I'm really gonna end up wanting. And yeah, I don't think there's anything here in terms of 2-drop creatures. No. Okay, so I'm definitely going to want some number of these guys. I think this is a great one. It's either a 2-mana 2/3, which is pretty solid, gets the ball rolling, or a 2-mana 1/2 and a 1/1. So it's kind of like a raise the alarm, but better in many cases. So I'm going to want to play that guy out there. This Formation Breaker, I do want to splash green, but man, this card is so strong, right? It's so easy to make this just attacking for 3 on turn 3, and it's hard to block. So I think we are going to put that card in, even though it's on the splash. I think it's going to be worth doing. So there's 2. I do want one more 2-drop, and I probably won't play the last one of these. I think it's got to just be this Voice of Victory. All right, so let's do that. We'll set the Abzan Devotee over here. So that's three cards there. So now I have 2 remaining. I think I am going to want to play this extra removal spell, just especially in limited and sealed. You're just going to want your removal spells around. And so now I think I get one more card. And, well, what's it going to be? I have just a ton of 4-drop options. So it's not only going to be this Desperate Measures. I'll move that off to the side. So a couple options. It could be one of these draw spells. I think that this Rakasha's Bargain is probably better than Cruel Truths. Right? This is look at your top 4, take 2. This is Surveil 2, draw 2, lose 2. So I think I can just cut that off the back. So I have 4 4-ish drops already. I get the Pack Beast isn't necessarily a 4-drop. Which one of these do I want to cut here? Do I want to play here? And play the 4-mana 2/1 that comes with either 2 tokens or it's a 4/3 menace. Some good flexibility. But I think I just am a little low on card advantage, and I have enough removal spells that I feel like if the game goes long, I'll be in pretty good shape. I'm also like a little low on flyers, so I could believe that I just want to play this 4-mana 3/3 flyer. I think it's not going to be this 100 battle veteran. And let me just count one more time to make sure I have the count right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Yeah. Get to play one of these. I think it's not going to be this Sandskitter Outrider because I would want the evasion. I think it's not going to be this Battle Priest. Just a smidge on the slow side. I think for what we're trying to do, we have a lot of countery stuff going on already. Although, man, it is really nice, like the Stalwart Successor and stuff. But I think probably not. So I think it's either the card advantage spell or one of these 4-drops. And we don't have a lot in the way of card advantage. I think this deck's going to like drawing cards because I do have all these removal spells I can draw into. So I think I'm going to try this Rakasha's Bargain right there. Sounds pretty nice as 4 mana. Pick up 2 cards from the top 4 of your library. It's an instant. It's got some good play. Any room for these Dragonback Lancers over the other 4-drops? I don't think so. This is actually going to be a pretty low curve deck for sealed, which is impressive. So I think this is what I would play. It's a bunch of removal spells. It's my strong creatures. I'm going to be a little weak in the air, which is pretty notable. But I can use my removal spells to try and take down stuff in the air. And it would be a little more on the aggressive side, I think. Now, I will have a lot of my lands coming into play tapped, but it's still worth it just to make sure that my mana works out. So what is my mana base going to look like? I think this is the deck I would probably submit to play in a pre-release environment. And let's take a look. So this, now I got to figure out what my colors are. So I want to be primarily white-black, but splash green. And fortunately, these lands are going to help me out here. So I've got Stand Step Citadel, so this provides all 3 colors. I'll kind of count that as a neutral source. I've got this, which essentially produces white and black for my deck. This also produces white and black for my deck. This produces white and green for my deck. This is just replacing a forest, basically. And then I have Evolving Wilds, which can be anything. So that kind of goes up here with the Sand Step Citadel. So what are we going to want? So we're going to play 17 lands, and we have 6 down here. So you get 11 more additional lands. How many green sources do I have? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 green sources. I think I'll probably want to play... you need to play at least 1 forest for the Evolving Wilds. I want to play 1 or 2 forests. For white sources, I currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So ideally, I'd like to get up to 9 sources. So that would be 4 sources for white, so 4 plains. And then looking at our swamps, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5. So that tells me I think I want 5 swamps, 4 plains, and 2 forests. So that's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I guess this kind of takes the place of one of the forests. So I think I'd rather just be able to hit my other colors. It's pretty critical I get like black, black for the Carsey Revenant. I have this here. So I think I would probably play 1 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do I want that 6th forest or not? Or 6th green source or not? Like these cards I can play without having green. It's really just these. Yeah, all right, I guess this guy too, which is really good to have on turn 3. All right, I guess I'm convinced on the forest. So I think it's going to be 5 swamps, 4 plains, and 1 forest is what I would do with this. And this deck looks pretty solid to me. You know, you could talk about playing these flyers for sure. You could talk about going deeper into green if you wanted and playing like this flyer and this removal spell, but you know, I think this is really what we want to do. So my big tip for this is you're going to have a ton of cards you're going to want to play at the pre-release. So do what I just did, lay out your cards, and then pull back the ones that you don't know for sure that you're going to want to play. Anyway, I hope this was helpful to you and that you enjoyed the video. And have fun at pre-releases this weekend, everybody. The set is a blast. I'll talk with you again soon, and until then, have fun with Tarkir Dragonstorm. You got this.